Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Constant DisOgreement podcast. I'm joined today, and all three of us are in unusual locations. I'm joined today by Justin Long and Michael Nigerian. Coming off last week, we did not have an episode because the two teams were fighting each other in football, the Patriots and the Ravens. But here we are this week. Well, the big news is it's Sunday night, December 28th. The big news that broke about 8 days ago, 9 days ago, I want to say, is that the Orioles traded for Shane Baz from the Tampa Bay Rays in a package that included Slater DeBrun, Caden Bodine, Michael Ferret, and a compensatory pick, like competitive balance round A, I think, which would be like somewhere in the 30-35 range for Shane Bond, who will likely be sort of a middle of the rotation arm coming off a tough season with the Rays, but a lot of really good peripherals, really high velocity, good strikeout rate, high ground ball rate, things that you can really dream on. And then the news that broke about 30 minutes before we started recording was that the Orioles have re-signed Zach Eflin to a 1 year, $10 million contract, but from complicated stuff that I'll let people who are good at math figure out, like mutual options and how much money it could be worth. But ultimately, the main takeaway is that Zach Eflin will be back for 2020. I'd imagine, regardless of how the rest of free agency goes, whether we sign someone else or not, or trade for someone else even. I imagine that Eflin still had a spot in the rotation next year. So I think that two guys in the last 9 days that the Orioles have added to put into the 2026 rotation, which from last episode is what we talked about a lot. We signed Pete Alonso. We talked about that signing a lot. We talked about the trade for Taylor Ward, and then even bullpen additions, Brian Helsley and Andrew Kittredge. But the next move was, what are we going to do to improve the bullpen, or excuse me, improve the rotation? And while we haven't done, neither of us predicted this. I think Brian said a little bit about maybe bringing back Zach Eflin. We talked about Eflin a little bit. But certainly we didn't talk about Shane Bond at all before the trade happened. It was on no one's radar. Edward Cabrera, Mackenzie Gore were on our radar for trade candidate. And then free agency wise, not thinking out of the running, but Michael King obviously is off the board. But Framber Valdez and I believe Ranger Flores are still on the board free agency wise. And Zach Gallen as well. And that Japanese pitcher Imai, forgetting for like Shota Imai, I think his name is. So I guess I'll start with Michael on this one. The Eflin news broke about 30 minutes ago, and the Bob trade 8 days ago. Compared to where we were last episode, how are you feeling about the rotation now as opposed to 10 days ago?
Well, I'll start with the Eflin news because it was the most recent thing that happened. I'm fine with the decision to bring back Zach Eflin. When he was acquired in 2024 at the deadline from Tampa Bay, he was really good. Had a 2.6 ERA, 1.12 WHIP in 55 innings over 9 starts. He was really good. He played a big role in the albeit short playoff run, but the playoff run the Orioles did have wasn't really great last year in the time that he had. But he was hampered by injuries. That really kind of took a lot of the wind out of his sails. So I wasn't really sure what kind of market he would have, but 10 million guaranteed for a starting pitcher these days really isn't that bad. And only 1 year guaranteed as well. I know there's options for the second year, but mutual options never get picked up by both sides. He's pretty much just going to be a free agent again after 2026. 1 year deal, it's fine. Like Zach Eflin, he's going to be a 3 or a 4 in this rotation, which if a guy like Zach Eflin is your 3 or your 4, who when he's healthy can eat innings as high as 177, like that's not bad. That's not a bad thing to have at all. And it's 177 quality innings too. He had a 3.5 ERA in the year that he did hit that. Move to bring back Zach Eflin, that's fine. Shane Baz trade is the one that I did have in a very vocal issue with. If everybody knows that from looking at the group chat here, but I don't know, just because I was looking at it in kind of the same sphere as the Grayson Rodriguez trade, because I was like, my thinking is if you were trading Grayson Rodriguez And I was not a fan of the Grayson Rodriguez trade either. But like my thinking was, if you're trading Grayson Rodriguez because there's no guarantees that he's going to stay healthy, and that could end up being a liability for you. I just don't understand why you're trading 4 top 30 prospects according to MLB Pipeline, and a competitive balance pick, kind of effectively washing out the Brian Baker trade almost, to get another pitcher who is just as injury prone as Grayson Rodriguez. Shane Baz didn't pitch in all of 23, only pitched 27 innings in 22, 13 innings in 21, 79 innings in 2024. His first full season was this past year, 25, 31 starts and 166 innings. And the numbers really weren't all that pretty. Like he had a 4.87 ERA, he had a 4.37 FIP, so that there's not much of a differential there. He had an ERA plus of 84, which is 16 points worse than league average. His savant numbers also don't jump off the page. There's good marks with fastball velocity, strikeout percentage, ground ball percentage, stuff like that, but breaking run value, 7th percentile, pitching run value, 19th percentile, gave up a lot of barrels, walked more guys than you would like. And sure, some of that you can probably attribute to playing at the bandbox known as Steinbrenner Field, but my line of thinking is I'm very confused as to why you would trade somebody like Grayson Rodriguez because you don't believe he can stay healthy and kind of get somebody you can depend on to stay healthy in Taylor Ward. But then, we feel comfortable trading away 4 top 30 prospects and a draft pick, which rarely gets traded in baseball, for a similar kind of upside play who is just as good as Grayson Rodriguez when he's healthy, but he also has just as much of an injury track record as Grayson Rodriguez does.
Justin?
Yeah, I'm going to push back a little bit because I also didn't like the Grayson Rodriguez trade at all. But I don't think putting he and Baz in the same grouping is necessarily fair because the last time we saw Grayson Rodriguez, he was throwing 92 on his fastball in spring training, and he had multiple different injuries throughout the season that required, multiple different rehab periods and things like that. And then when it comes to Baz, this is a guy coming off of 166 innings last year, and he ended the season throwing 100. So I don't think, yes, he's had injury issues, but I think you're talking about two players at very different points in their career. Like Grayson Rodriguez, we had his arm last time we saw it was completely cooked. And I'm not saying that it's going to stay like that. I think Grayson can still be very good, and it wouldn't shock me if he did come out and was healthy. But we just saw Shane Baz throw a lot of innings. He made 31 starts. I mean, Grayson Rodriguez, the most he had was 23 in his career. That's a big jump. There's a big difference there in 166 innings compared to what was the most that Grayson got? Maybe in the
It was 122.
122, so not even. So I think I also didn't like the Grayson Rodriguez trade. It's grown on me a little bit, but I don't think that the Shane Baz trade is necessarily bad just because they didn't believe in Grayson Rodriguez to get healthy, because I don't think they're the same player necessarily. And yeah, so honestly, I think my reaction was when I first saw the Baz trade, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot to give up. I saw Slater to Braun, I saw Bodine, then they threw in O'Verne and for it, and then the pick too, and it was like, holy crap, that's a lot. But then I kind of thought on it a little more, and I'm like, okay, Baz was healthy last year. He played at Steinbrenner Field, which was very non-pitcher friendly, and he really struggled there. And his road numbers are really solid. I mean, if he had a 3.8 ERA on the road, if he has a 3.8 ERA for us next year and continues the strikeout numbers, he would 100% be worth that prospect package that we gave up, I think, at least. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the bet on a guy who throws 100 and has multiple nasty breaking balls and a good cutter, good secondary pitches. I really don't mind betting on this guy. And they kind of did exactly what I was hoping they would do with some of those prospects or some of those draft picks from last year. I was hoping we had 4 first round picks, and I was hoping that they would use some of that capital and swing a trade with it, and they ended up doing that. So is it perfect value? No, but I definitely don't hate the trade. I don't hate the aggressiveness. He's a controllable starter, which always is super expensive. And yeah, I think if this was a trade for Mackenzie Gore or Edward Cabrera, I don't think anyone would bat an eye at it, to be honest with you. But those guys have plenty of flaws too. I mean, Edward Cabrera's had a ton of injury issues, and he had a shoulder injury at the end of last season too. And then Mackenzie Gore, I mean, Gore's coming off of like a 4.3 ERA season, and he had like a 5 ERA in the second half. So I don't know. I kind of lump all those three guys together, and if they had made a trade for any of them, I would have been fine with it. And so I'm not gonna complain about the Boz one, honestly.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting because, I mean, yeah, I think we like to analyze these moves in a couple of ways. We sort of like to analyze them, one, sort of against the greater outlook of everything. I think when you do it that way, you sort of think of it like, well, if we're going to trade away a lot of prospect capital for Shane Baz, why not just hold on to Grayson Rodriguez? I kind of agree with Justin though on that point, where it's like I think you can rely on Baz more than you can rely on Grayson Rodriguez at this point in their career. Shane Baz, then coming off a full season, he had 166 innings last year. He pitched, didn't pitch great, but if you look at the peripherals, I mean, I've been looking at a baseball reference page a lot, and none of it looked very good from last season. But you look at the Fangraph page, the peripherals actually look pretty good. 3.85 expected ERA, 3.88 expected FIP, 2.0 WAR according to Fangraph, which is essentially a league average player, which you want more than that. But I mean, if you're, the guy that it's coming off like the terrible season that some people are saying that where everything felt like it may have gone wrong, and he still had 2 WAR, then what can he provide us if things aren't going wrong? If the his ERA gets closer to its expected ERA, in which it was 3.85 last year, with 3.62 in 2024. If that ERA, it's in the lower fours this upcoming season, maybe even the upper 3.8, 3.9, closer to what the expected ERA have been, then that's a solid piece to have in the middle of your rotation where you can rely on him to pitch every 5 days. Last season was the only full season of his career. He had 79 in the third innings in 2024, didn't pitch at all in 2023. So there definitely is that. He was a really highly touted prospect, and for good reason. I mean, that velocity, as Justin mentioned, can get into the 100, can get into the triple digit. With his velocity and ground ball rate was really high last year, according to Baseball Savant. He had 0.7% ground ball rate, which I'm not looking at Devont right now, but percentile wise, that's pretty high up. And, I like guys who can keep the ball on the ground sort of philosophically. I think those are the kind of pitchers that if you can keep the ball on the ground fairly consistently, especially when you play in the American League East, where, half of it are, give or take, are going to be at Camden Yards, which, especially with the wall moved back in into a pretty hitter friendly ballpark, and then you're going to play another portion of games at Yankee Stadium, which is a bandbox, Fenway Park, which is very hitter friendly, especially to lefties or to righties. I mean, Green Monster's like 300 feet in, but and then and then also the teams you'll be playing against. You're going to be playing against Vlad Jr., Aaron Judge, not Devers anymore, but Roman Anthony. I don't know what good Red Sox players do they have anymore. But yeah, no, so
Watch it.
I think the peripheral, there's a lot to like. I do think it is a very risky move with the prospect you give up. We talked about it a little before the show started. I really like Slater DeBron. He's very young. I think he's only 19 right now. I mean, he just graduated high school, hadn't played above rookie ball. But just based on everything, he's similar to some of those other guys we were able to get sort of late in the first round, sort of that area, similar to like Gunnar Henderson, where you're able to get them because they fell because of signability concerns, and you're able to sign them. Gunnar is a good example of that, but we've had other too. I think like even Kobe Mayo. We got him in the fourth round in 2020. He was sort of the same thing where he probably was a first round talent in that draft, but he fell because of signability concerns. And now, obviously, I mean, Henderson, one of the best players in the sport of baseball, and Kobe Mayo, he got it tied like 8th best prospect in baseball, and I think there's still a lot to dream on with him as well. So I think there is that Rick that we look back in 5 years and like, oh crap, Plater DeBrun and mashing up whatever team the Rays trade him to. The So I think there is that that level of concern. I'm not as worried about the other guys we traded, Auvergne and Foret and Caden Bodine. I think Bodine was always going to be trapped behind Adley and Samuel Battaglio. It was just going to be really tough for him to break out, especially as a defense first catcher. So but we're going for it in 2026. I think that's the main takeaway, and it's something. The first podcast we did one in like the middle of October, where we didn't know what the offseason was going to look like. And now 2 months later, if you said didn't name name, but if you said we signed a starting pitcher, we traded for a starting pitcher who will both be entered into the rotation. We signed a true closer. We signed an elite level first baseman, and we traded for a right fielder who had 35 home runs last year, and it's not even New Year's Day. I think in a vacuum, if you said this is what the Orioles have done so far, you'd be like, hell yeah. I mean, that's what, like, we're actually doing something with the offseason. We're not just signing Charlie Morton and Tomoyuki Tagano and a flyer on Ramon Laureano and calling it a day. Along with trading for Andrew Kittredge and signing Leody Taveras for depth, and I don't think we're done. Like I still think there are going to be some bullpen moves to be made. Maybe a JoJo Romero type. Maybe who knows.
Yeah, you need another reliever. Absolutely.
I agree, and I think we'll have one. We still have Kobe Mayo. I mean, I think as we sort of mentioned, I think especially if you can get Framber Valdez, which who knows. I mean, if the Orioles could get Framber Valdez and Pete Alonso in the same offseason, could you imagine? But if you could get another high-end starter somehow, then you have, as we talked about earlier, you have Dean Kramer and Kobe Mayo at trade baits, and I don't know if you'd be able to package those two for a really good 8th-inning reliever. Maybe or 10th-inning reliever if you want Kittredge to be your 8th-inning guy, or what. I do think the Orioles need a true lefty, just a lefty stopper in the bullpen. I don't really know who that could be at this point, but I'd love
Danny
to have.
Coulombe.
I like Coulombe. I don't know. I like Coulombe, definitely, but even a trade, a guy we could trade for, the Padres are only good for a random trade. The Rays are only good for a
I
random
would
trade.
love Morahone from the Padres.
Yeah,
If they're
I
actually
agree with
selling
that.
away, he's a dog. I would love that.
Yeah, could the Padres use a first baseman like Kobe Mayo? Who is their first baseman?
I heard they might move Cronenworth, who's played there a little bit and then bounced around. Is Gavin Sheets? He was playing the outfield for him, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Who
mean,
they
I
have
think
lined up there now. They had a rise, but
they lost Dylan T, so they probably could use a starter like Dean Kramer. I
Justin,
know
I
they.
just saw Morahone's Baseball Savant, and oh my god, yeah, I need.
He's disgusting. He throws 99
filthy.
with sink. Yeah, he's gross. Morahone, and I don't know what his contract's looking like, but I think he probably has multiple years of control.
I think he might still be pre-arb.
Is he really? Well, then we would have to pay a lot to get him.
Yeah,
but
if that's the
that
case,
would be
then
my dream lefty.
if that's the case, if we were to trade for Adrian Morahone, then you're basically
No, never mind. He's not pre-arb. He's a free agent after 27.
that'll be 2 years of him. I think Kobe Mayo and a higher level prospect could maybe get the job done for a guy like that.
But then is that an overpay? If we
Maybe.
want to talk about, because Kobe Mayo's still he's pre-arb. And this is a guy who was just a top 15 prospect. So I don't know. I don't really know what Mayo's market looks like. I would do that, but that might be viewed by a lot of people as a big overpay. So I don't.
I think they would. I think in a trade like that, they would package maybe Mountcastle instead.
I don't.
Yeah, if we could do Mountcastle, I don't who would the prospect be then? Would it be a
Kramer wouldn't be a horrible idea. That rotation in San Diego, it looks rough. They have.
Give him Cade Povich. For the year. That'd be fine.
They have King and Musgrove. Am I forgetting someone after that?
Nick Pivetta.
Right, Pavetta. But they might move Pavetta. That's apparently.
I mean, there
So,
have been some talk that they
Yeah,
want
I
to move
guess.
Nathan Miller into the rotation if they hold on to him.
yeah.
No, they're not doing that anymore.
I don't think they're
I
doing
heard
that.
they
But
weren't doing that.
they also were listening on Mason Miller, which is crazy to me because they just traded DeVries for him, which is like the
I mean,
number one prospect in baseball. So what are you getting
do you think
back?
we could do like Nathan Miller for Dean Kramer straight up?
No, but like I was thinking about it. Do you
God.
think they could put together like
Get it done.
Kobe Mayo plus more prospects for Mason Miller? Do you think they could
What do you do
form a
with
package?
Helmsley then? Do you move him to the
I don't
eighth inning?
care.
I think
Send
I
him
think
to
you have
Mars, dude. I
Miller in
don't
the eighth.
care.
I think you have Miller in the eighth.
Really? You think
On,
Miller that
He
does
was,
I'll just
he
Helmsley?
ride
was
the
in the
hot hand, dude. I would
he was
just
in the eighth for Suarez.
He was. Honestly, I don't even care. I would just be like, all right, whoever's health or whoever is the most well rested is getting the save today. You know,
Yeah,
those
I mean,
guys. Oh my god, that'd be so dirty. Can you imagine?
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
dreaming now.
the big thing is we have to have a lead going into the eighth and ninth inning for this to work, and I think we have a good enough team that we will be having a lot of lead going into the eighth and ninth inning. Hopefully, get like 2 home runs out of Pete Alonso a day, and then Taylor Ward, Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson hit back-to-back doubled, and a weird order that they would not be in, but have it up like 5-4 going into the fifth inning of each game.
You get two Pete Alonso homers a day. You have a 300 homer season.
Sounds good
324.
to me. Sounds good to me. I do.
I
I
think
have.
I think he'd be worth the contract if that happened.
I think so. I have one thing I want to
I need
ask
a
you
couple more
guys.
doubles
Though.
out of him.
Do you think? So we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but I want to talk about it now too, because I didn't talk about Eflin. I only talked about Boz. I will say if Eflin is our last rotation move, like at least big one, then I am not happy with the offseason they had. Is that crazy?
It's a little
Oh,
crazy.
But
overall,
we've done this before. We know, like, we've tried depending on these kind of starters before. Like, I'm still happy we got Pete Alonso and everything, but we can't run it back with a rotation. I mean, I guess maybe that is crazy, actually. But I would not be completely satisfied. How about that? That's more reasonable,
I mean, I
right?
think and I think that's more. I mean, that's more on the line of like we've been in rumors with like every starting pitcher on the market to not get any of them. I think that part would be disappointing. Other
Yeah.
than Shane Baz and Zach Eflin, who were never rumored about them, they just kind of happened.
And like Eflin had a 6 ERA last year, and I fully think Eflin is going to be better than he was because I think last year he just was unhealthy, like had a ton of injury issues, and then it led to he's a command guy, and so if his command's off, he's not going to overpower anyone. So I totally think that Eflin can get back to what he was doing in 24 and 23. But still, I mean, that I don't think that can be it for our rotation. I really don't, because that's scary. Because what if Boz doesn't? What if he is kind of a mid-4 ERA guy? Like, then your rotation is back to being. I mean, Bradish is great, Rogers is great, but we don't know what we're getting from Eflin. We don't really know what we're getting from Boz. He's high upside, but we don't know for sure. Like, I still would. I really think they got to go get Valdez or Suarez because
Is it
we've
crazy?
done this too many times. We've
I
depended on our in-house options too many times.
I mean, it's like I kind of agree with you in that even Trevor Rogers, like
He's
you
gonna
can't,
regress. He's
he's
going
going
he's
to
to.
gonna
regret
regress.
that,
He's not gonna be as good.
and it's like but how much is he going to regret? Like, is he going to be another? Is he going to be like same thing like in Miami? It's like he had a great rookie year, but then the year after and the years after that were like not even like mediocre, like they were bad. Like, is he going to go back to being bad again? And if that happens, then it's like you are screwed. And then you're
And
like
he also
really.
has injury issues too.
I mean, Bradish. I mean, pretty much everyone in our rotation right now. I mean, Kramer hadn't had a ton, but the other four have all had like injury problems the last few years. Like
I
I think
I would like to see Tatsuya Imai. I want that to be the final rotation edition. So he threw comparable innings to Shane Baz last year. He only threw 3 less. He had 5 complete games, 3 complete game shutouts. He had a whip of less than 1. He had an ERA of less than 2. And I saw an article today from the New York Post that he hasn't received a single major league offer.
huh?
And his posting deadline and his posting deadline is January 2nd. So I think that is somebody who, with that information, could be signed for a little bit cheaper. Like if you can get him for a contract similar to Murakami in the White Sox, I think that's
He's going
almost
to get
highway
more than
robbery
that. He's going to get
at this
more than
point.
that.
And he's
I think
27 years old. Yeah, but Justin, he hasn't gotten a single offer yet.
I know, but
And his window closes this week.
Who reported that?
I think it was Heyman, New York Post.
But like, are you
I
telling
don't
me that
trust
team's not
the
going
New
to
York
That
Post
kind of
that.
stuff, I would love to see that.
No, I totally agree with you. I do too. I still think he's probably going to get over $100 million. And if he doesn't, it wouldn't shock me if he at least gets what like Michael King got, like a $75 million deal over 3 years or something. Like, I don't think they're going to get him for as cheap as Murakami. I mean, this is a guy, it is weird that he hasn't gotten an offer yet, but this is a guy that was viewed as like a top 5 free agent coming into this offseason. He's like a legit top of the rotation arm.
I mean,
Yeah, but with not having an offer, that price is going down by the day.
But who knows?
when you take posting deadline at the 4th, like he has to sign by January 4th.
He has to sign by January 2nd, or he goes back to Japan. Yes,
So that's only like 5 days.
Offer? He doesn't have an offer
Yeah.
yet.
He doesn't have a single offer.
I feel like the Giants are going to throw money at. I think he's going to the Giants or the Cubs.
How do you get that information though? Did the camp?
Because they only have the guys that come from Japan. They only have like 45 days. That's why Murakami was forced to sign too. Like that's why he signed with the White Sox, because he didn't get any like offers anywhere else. So then the White Sox came in last second and got him.
I mean, I
that's why I'm saying that like the Orioles are more realistic target.
Yeah, you're right. I just think he's still going to get a lot of money. Just like more than like I still think he's probably going to get. Like, I would be shocked if he only gets a 2-year deal. I think someone will throw at least a 4-year deal at him, probably. But I guess.
Well, Justin, I will ask you that. I think on you who are pretty high on Merrill Kelly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I think like signing Zach Eflin,
and he got 2 years, $40 million. That's a good contract, man. Sorry, I just saw Michael laughing. So.
Wait, Merrill Kelly signed?
Yeah, with the D-backs, he went back.
Yeah, dude.
2 years, 40.
Well,
that's
that
good
kind of
contract.
But so are you happier with signing Eflin to the contract we did, or would you have been happier if we signed Kelly and not Eflin?
Are we still assuming that's our only move?
That's our only move for like the back end of the rotation, because like we're not going to sign another guy who's going to be like a 5th starter at this point.
I like Eflin more for that price point.
I agree.
Personally. I think there's a good chance that because the thing is, like, I think Eflin's Merrill Kelly's probably safer, but I think Eflin probably at his peak is better, and I think we've seen him pitch extremely well with the Orioles. He just got hurt.
I mean, the thing with Eflin is, if you take out the injury, he's had a pretty good peak these last 2 years. It's not like he's been super inconsistent. Basically, last year he looked awful, but I mean, he had like a 1.10 ERA plus in 2024 or 2023 maybe. Yeah, 2024 was like his really good year. Where we got him at the deadline for a trade that I think we worked out pretty well. Like, I forget who. I know Matt Horvath was one of the guys we traded for him, but all things considered, I think that trade worked out.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he had 3.6 WAR in he had a 1.20 ERA plus in 2023, 1.10 ERA plus overall in 2024, but 1.49 with us. Then a 99 ERA plus in 2022, 100 ERA plus in 2021, 114 in 2020, and 108 in 2019. And, pretty consistent innings. I mean, he only had 75 innings in 2022, but, like, he had a full season for whatever that's worth. In 2020, had a full season in 2019, fullish. Not really a full season in 2021, but, like, 105 innings. And then full seasons in 2023, 2024. Like, I think as long as he doesn't get hurt, like I think you can rely on him to be a pretty solid pitcher. Like I don't think the bottom's going to fall out.
You could say the same about Merrill Kelly too, because I mean he's also thrown 200 innings, and they were 200 good innings, and he was a horse for the D-backs when they went to the World Series.
Fair. I know
it doesn't mean much now that he's in Arizona again, but still.
But also, I think there is something to be said for like continuity to some extent, keeping around guys that are like familiar with the clubhouse, and it's like
sounds like that tweet. It's like, bring back Cedric Mullins, bring back Brandon Hyde, bring back all the former Orioles.
That's not
Get
what
him,
I
get him
mean.
back.
Get Austin Hayes back in here, bro.
Yep. Where's he at?
No, I
Where's
get
he
what
at?
you mean, though, Cam. I agree
But I mean,
with you.
it's
No,
like
so do
Seeing
I.
him
people,
be
So do I.
successful with the Orioles, which I think
and,
means
and like
something.
No,
people
I
like
get it too. I
Eflin.
just wanted to poke fun at Cam.
I mean, some things I saw on social media, just sort of while we were recording, before we recorded. One, I think it was Andy Kotka tweeted out a quote from Eflin back in August, where he was talking about the potential for resigning with the Orioles. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'd love to resign with the Orioles. I love the clubhouse. I love the people in it and all that." And obviously, we didn't know what was going to happen at the time, but the fact that he said that, I think, means something. It means something that you have someone who said they
Every
wanted.
free agent says that about every team.
But he said it in August too, and he said it about re-signing with the team. Um, and that's not necessarily true. I mean,
I
Anthony
think it means
Rendon certainly
something.
never said that about the Angels, but
I do. I think it means, and he always seemed like a guy that was well liked here too. So,
I mean,
I also
well,
think like this is such a low risk move. Like, so
yeah.
1 year, 10 million, like that. That's nothing, man. Like at least with Merrill Kelly, like 40 million.
Yeah,
over 2 years.
that's exactly what I said.
I mean,
Sorry.
$10 million is what David Rubenstein used for toilet paper.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we gave Charlie Morton 15 million last year,
And I'm
and
feeling
Sagano 13. I would way rather have Eflin over either of those guys, like by a mile.
what would your reaction be if we re-signed Tomoyuki Tagano to a $10 million contract on like February 2nd?
I would crash out. For sure. I would totally crash out. I like Tomo, bro.
I think
no.
I might too.
We signed Charlie Morton out of retirement for $15 million.
Yeah. Seriously.
Like the
Don't
day
you
after-
dare! Don't you dare!
Dude, they already did. They already did that. He was going to retire, and then they threw $15 million at him because they're idiots.
But also the good thing is,
Where's Kyle Gibson?
Yeah, seriously. Where's Jordan Lyles? We just mentioned him. Bring him back. Dude.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
where's Eric Bedard?
Sure.
Jamie Boyer.
Who would be the
Wade Miley.
baseball equivalent of Phillip Rivers at this point?
Charlie Morton, bro.
I
no,
legitimately
maybe not.
be
I'm
even
trying
funnier.
to think of like
a guy,
who's like an innings eater that like pitched super late into his career.
Felix Hernandez.
Not even because Felix. No,
Jared Weaver, maybe?
Oh, gosh.
Cliff Lee.
I was thinking Cliff Lee too, but that feels disrespectful to Cliff Lee. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I think Cliff Lee's a decent one. That's a pretty good
So
shout.
what would y'all
Where's
reaction be if we signed
James? Get James Shields on the phone
Yeah, dude. Let's do it.
James Shields had a fine major league
so we
career.
can trade him for the next Tatis.
Yeah.
James Shields had a fine career, but the only thing I'll ever remember him for is giving up the home run to Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, that's fair. I just remember him for getting traded.
Oh, that's who the Orioles should sign, Bartolo Colon.
No!
We're getting so far off track. All right, let's rein it back in.
I don't know.
I
Go on, Justin.
I just was going to say, I'm really curious to see when when Elias has a press conference or whatever about this Eflin move. Like, he was pretty adamant after the Baz move. He was like, yeah, we're going to bring in more starting pitching. But, like, I feel like I'm interested to see what his wording is about this deal. Because he could be like, yeah, we're open to it. And if he says something like that, then I'm going to be worried that Eflin was our last big starting pitcher move, and that's going to concern me.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I get it, sure. But yeah, no, I get it. I'm also looking at a bobblehead of Matt Harvey right now. Maybe we should re-sign him to a contract.
Lock back in, Cam. Lock back in. Stay on topic. I need you to lock in here, okay? Ignore the distractions. Ignore Mike's messaging in the chat. Just drop it.
All right.
Lock back
Yeah.
in.
I'm also looking at an Eloy Jimenez bobblehead. But yeah, no. So they're Dylan Bundy. But Michael, do you have any?
Do I have what?
I can't think of anything to say right now that productive.
Okay.
Well, do you guys think this is it?
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
For the
Justin,
rotation, yes.
You think? God,
I don't
that's
know.
bad if it is, man. That is not a big enough upgrade for my liking.
I don't know. I'm optimistic because, like, we really have been going for it this offseason with Alonso and with Taylor Ward and all that. So it's like, it does feel like it would be a huge letdown if this was it. I agree with that. But it's like, it's also like I think we're going to continue to try. Like, I think we're going to continue to try to get Valdez and Imai and maybe Ranger Torres, maybe like be in on those guys, maybe even Zach Gallen for the next level. Zach Gallen hadn't signed yet.
No, he
But
hasn't.
so like there are guys out there that I think we're going to try at. It's tough to sign free agents. It's tough to sign quality free agents. And I think I think the Pete Alonso contract being on the books, it means something. As rich and loaded as David Rubenstein is, you can't go out and have $200 million off seasons every off season.
Justin a few episodes back said he would be doing cartwheels if Pete Alonso was like in the Orioles lineup on opening day. So that counts.
Did I say that?
Were you doing cartwheels?
You didn't say that exactly.
I did. I do remember
it was to the effect of that. Yeah.
That's when the thought of Pete Alonso
you were
was
like,
just
this isn't going to happen,
on
but it would be awesome if
Yeah.
it did, and I'd be so happy.
I am so happy. I remind myself, like, when the Ravens lost to the Patriots, I like went on Twitter and was just seeing people say, like, remember the Orioles got Pete Alonso still.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well, I think I took a screenshot of what I saw on Twitter and something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Justin, I do have a question for you, since you are the most passionate about the current state of the rotation right now. If Zach Gallen were signed, and like, would that do anything for you?
Yeah, it would. I like Gallen too.
Yeah.
I kind of view Gallen the same way as not in terms of talent, but like situation, the same way I view Eflin, in the sense that I think like he was healthy last year, but we've just seen so much good from Zach Gallen that I think like if you give him like I think of like what Jack Flaherty got last offseason. It was like a 2-year deal and it was an option for the second year. And then it's like a low risk signing like that. I think because when Gallen's good, like when he's pitching well, he's a top end of the rotation guy. He wouldn't be my first choice, but if it's Gallen or not sign anyone, I would rather sign Gallen. I still view Suarez and Valdez like pretty heavily above him, but I would like it still. I think it would be an upgrade to the rotation, and he's a high upside arm, in my opinion.
I agree with Justin on this one. I'm not huge on Zach Gallen, but I would, like, if we signed him, I'd be happy. I think if we signed Framber Valdez, obviously I'd be happy. I'm still holding out hope that may happen, but not really holding my breath either at this point. I think the Eflin signing is a signal that, Valdez signing isn't, it might take, maybe not a miracle, but it might take a little bit more doing for Valdez to sign, which, I mean, we do need to save some money for off seasons in the future, but we are really putting all of our eggs in the 2026 basket, as I've mentioned before. But yeah, no, I do hope that we sign another starter. And
I would
yeah.
rather them sign a reliever before a starter right now.
You think so?
Personally,
I think you can get relievers way more easily. You know what I mean?
True. I just think and I've been very vocal about this. I think they're a reliever short right now. I think if you walk into opening day with this rotation right now, I think that's still a rotation you can feel good about. But I think you are a reliever, specifically a setup guy. I think you are a setup guy short right now. I don't think Andrew Kittredge,
I think we're a good leverage lefty short. That's kind of what I at.
I don't think Andrew Kittredge should be your top setup guy. I think you need to have another. I think you need to have another setup guy, lefty or otherwise, to take that pressure off of Andrew Kittredge. And then I think you're feeling a lot better about the bullpen.
But relievers are so volatile.
I've been saying the same thing for a while.
Yeah, I agree. This bullpen I think we need to add a couple arms. I really like Pierce Johnson. I think he would be a nice get for us. I just think relievers are so volatile though that like who's to say that Cage Stroud doesn't turn into a high end reliever or like Tyler Wells or something.
Tyler Wells before he got hurt was a legitimately good reliever.
Yeah, and like guys come out of nowhere, like relievers come out of nowhere and start pitching really well. I agree, like this bullpen would scare me going into the season. But I feel way better about us figuring out the bullpen than I would finding another top, 3 rotation arm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, The two guys in the bullpen right now that I feel like you can legitimately feel good about are Heldley and Kittredge. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I think you're
And it's
right.
like, even Heldley, it's like, the reason why we were able to get him on a fairly cheap contract is because of the way last year ended. It's like, who's to say that he doesn't have the kind of, like, he doesn't continue that. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but, like, there had to be some sort of contingency plan if Heldley continued to struggle the way he did to finish last year at the Mets. Like, I don't think it's a guarantee that he won't just because he's out in New York.
Can I throw something out there at you
Sure.
guys to see what? So I really thought Kobe Mayo was going to get moved for a starter, but obviously that didn't happen. And I don't know if we trade for another starter. If we do, maybe it's like maybe they go for like Freddie Peralta or something. I don't know. But I would love to see them sign another starter like Framber or Ranger Suarez. And then, like, what if you move Kobe Mayo for like a big time controllable reliever or something, right? Like, we talked about Morahone. I'd love that. Even Jeremiah Estrada with the Padres. I'd love that. Like, I'm trying to think of like a true, just like dominant reliever that would excite me. Like imagine like a Brian Abreu. I don't know why the Astros would trade him, but like add like someone like that into the bullpen. Not specifically Abreu, but and I think you could get a really good controllable bullpen arm for Kobe Mayo. And maybe that's what you do instead of using him to get you a starter or something. Because I kind of think that ship might have sailed, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Or Mason Miller. Go send the farm for Mason Miller, bro. Are you kidding me? That'd be so sick.
I do agree. Like, all things considered, Kobe Mayo probably is not on the team 2026 opening day. Like obviously that, but is it like a foregone conclusion that he won't be?
I actually, if we still do that other topic we were going to talk about, like the wishes for next year, I don't know if we're still doing that or not. One of mine was going to be Kobe Mayo being traded. I don't want them to hold on to Kobe Mayo. I really don't. And it's not because I don't like Kobe Mayo. I just don't like the idea of stashing him on the bench or in AAA and just watching his value depreciate even more. Like,
I agree.
I think you got to move him now. I don't think he's going to get consistent at bats or anything close to it in the majors. So I really want to see them move Mayo, to be honest with you.
I can agree with you on that. Yeah. Yeah, but I think if we move Mayo for along with prospect for like a really good reliever, I'd be happy with that. We do need, the bullpen need to get better. I just think, I really like our lineup going into next year. And me and Mike were talking about it, I think, before you joined, Justin, but, we were sort of comparing what the rotation looks like now versus what it looked like opening day last year. And, as much as, we want to keep getting better, which for obvious reasons, we are in a much better spot than we were opening day last year. In terms of, like, Zach Eflin, think of him, for example. Like, we're talking about Eflin being a 4 or 5 guy. Last year, Zach Eflin was the foregone opening day starter. Like, we were like that was sort of the thought with, like, Zach Eflin is the guy, and now he's the number 4 guy. And obviously, an injury-riddled season sort of played a role in that. But also the fact that we got Bradish back and the fact that even from within, Trevor Rogers continued to pitch well, and we got Shane Baz in a trade, and then, Dean Kramer to kind of Dean Kramer, like he kind of there. So I think we are in a better spot than we were this time last year, which obviously is not saying much because, Charlie Morton and Tomoyuki Tagano were our 2 and 3 guys, and Kate Povich was number 5. But I
They're
think
in a much better spot. I just think
yeah.
they've talked so much about their willingness to, spend money this offseason. And they have, no doubt. Like, the Pete Alonso signing was crazy. The Helsley signing was great. Like, Eflin, that's a good chunk of money. But, like...
Even Kittredge.
Kittredge is $9 million, I think, was what the option is picked up or something like that. So they've spent money for sure. But I just, like, they're not even at their payroll from last year yet. And I think
really?
No, they're not. They were, I actually just saw something, they were $20 million short of their payroll from last year.
Before or after the Eflin signing?
Before. So now they're probably 10 million shy. Yeah.
Well, it's because we didn't throw $15 million at Charlie Morton and $13 million at Sagano again.
But that's so weird, like, because we did throw
I'll double check on it. I'll double check on it, but I
Like O'Neal
believe they
there.
still were not there yet. And so I think it's reasonable to also assume that they're going to go above the payroll from last year, you know?
I mean, I think they will. Like, did we lose someone like big or like trade away someone? I mean, I guess we trade away like O'Hearn and Laureano. Those were kind of smaller contract.
Dominguez and Soto, I don't know how expensive their
Oh yeah, that's
contracts
true.
were.
They were each, I think they were a combined like 18 million between them.
Yeah,
That
That's a
might
good
be it
chunk of
then.
money right there. I'm gonna try and find it so I can double check on that, but I believe they were 20
yeah,
million shy of their payroll from last year.
yeah. I mean that's interesting. That's interesting to know.
I think
But
I
yeah, I
think
mean,
Mullins too, if you account for that,
oh
he was
yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
a good chunk of money.
Once we got to the end of our Mullins, what pretty expensive. And even like Mateo had some money on him, and Urias I think had a little bit. I mean, yeah, they're stuff like that too, but interesting. Yeah, we also have the Bastayo signing on our book too now, but again, that's a pretty team friendly contract. I'm very happy that Bastayo is on the book. So yeah, so I think overall we are feeling. Sorry, go on, Justin.
I was gonna say, Mike, do you want to mention that reliever that you messaged in the chat about? I'm curious who it was.
Yeah, I can if we want to do that now.
Go for it.
Yeah. So my name, as we were talking about relievers, I was looking at the list of free agents, and there's really not a lot of good names left. I think like the top name in terms of WAR that's left is Kirby Yates, which yikes. But a little further down the list, first of all, I think Justin Wilson would be a good lefty option if you're looking for a lefty reliever. The name that I, after looking at stats, would be in favor of the Orioles getting is Tyler Kinley. He spent a lot of his career with Colorado, but was traded to the Braves last year. And yes, he was coming from Colorado, and his numbers were awful because he was coming from Colorado. With the Braves, you couldn't like get a hit off of him. He had a 0.72 ERA. He had a 0.68 WHIP. He only allowed 11 hits in 25 innings. Struck out 22. If you look at his Savant page, it lights up red. The breaking stuff is nasty. The slider he used 64% of the time. It worked out really well for him. 100th percentile in hard hit percentage, 99th percentile in break in the run value on his breaking pitches, 93% percentile exit velo, 89th whiff percentage. He racks up swings and misses. He's more of a fly ball pitcher. Like the ground ball numbers weren't great, but he limits hard contact as well. Second percentile in barrel percentage, first in chase percentage. So he's getting guys swinging at those off speed and breaking pitches. And he's 34, but relievers don't have to be a long term commitment anyway because they are so volatile. So Tyler Kinley, I think, is somebody that he's probably not your setup option. Like he's not the one setup guy short that I've been saying about, but I think that's another middle relief arm that puts more pressure on your in-house guys who were coming up last season. And I think that's just a move that would make a lot of sense, kind of low pressure move. But if it booms like it did for Atlanta, you're looking at a really good reliever.
Yeah, I like Kinley. I remember seeing his name and looking at some of his numbers, especially after the trade. Yeah, he's nasty. I talked about Pierce Johnson earlier too. I think both those guys would be nice. And I think Cam is kind of out on this guy. I wouldn't even mind bringing back Sir Anthony Dominguez. I know it's not the most exciting thing ever, but he's a guy that his stuff is so good when he's throwing strikes, and like he is a true back end of the bullpen arm. Like at least when it comes to stuff. Now he goes through stretches where the command's not great and it can be frustrating to watch, but like if we did that, I would not be mad at that at all. I think at the very least that makes our bullpen more intimidating than it was before. So that's another one that I think I would be fine with. But I also think Dominguez might get a sneaky big contract, to be honest with you. But we'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't hate Anthony Dominguez. I think I just kind of got tired of him at a certain point. I think probably just because he's inconsistent, but he was solid. I also think I kind of lumped Gregory Soto and Anthony Dominguez together just because we got him at the same time, essentially from the same team. Um, And like Dodo, just Gregory Dodo never did much for me. I was kind of just ready for him to be gone. But I mean Dominguez, I'm looking at his stat from last year. Like he was good. 3.52 FIP, 125 ERA plus with us, 144 ERA plus actually with Toronto. 21 innings, 41 2/3 for us. 62 and 2/3 innings overall. He kind of struggled in the playoffs, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. Like Dominguez is a guy that I like, but I wouldn't mind getting other relievers, like someone who had to have been in the organization already, like a Tyler Kenley potentially. I think just guys that are a little more consistent, a little more like we know they're going to go out there and we don't have to be scared every time they're just going to completely blow up. I think Yenier Cano, obviously, kind of, he probably gone. Like, I don't think Cano makes the team next year. But if he does, he definitely a very volatile relief pitcher. Like, he could be fine, but he most likely won't be. And then, I think just like guys that have more consistent stuff, especially to sort of as I mentioned with Helsley, is that, like while I like to think we're getting a good lockdown close with Helsley, I don't know. And I just want someone who we know can go out there and just throw strikes and get out. And there are times where Anthony Dominguez goes out there and he can't get an out. You know, Same with Gregory Soto when we had him, and like I think Kittredge doesn't really normally have that problem. He's pretty consistent. That's sort of more along the lines of the kind of guy that I would like out of a reliever. Someone more like Andrew Kittredge or Anthony Dominguez. That's just my opinion.
That's fair. I really would have liked if they had got Tyler Rogers. He signed for a lot with the Blue Jays. He signed
That
for
was
like
expensive.
37 million. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I was not expecting him to get that. But he's one of those guys, kind of like you said, Cam. Like you don't have to worry about like him throwing the ball over the plate or anything. Like he's not. Well, he's flashy in the sense that he's weird, like the throwing motion, but like he doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. But guys just cannot square him up whatsoever. So I would feel better if we had someone of that consistency, but also Rogers has probably sneakily been one of the best relievers in baseball for a few years now. But yeah, I mean, I think this just going back to what Mike said about wanting to add a bullpen arm before a reliever. I don't complete like I personally would or no bullpen arm before starter. That's what I was trying to say. I don't necessarily agree, but I also do see the need to get a reliever. Like it would scare me if they. I like some of the guys that we had at the end of last year, but it would scare me if they went into next year depending on Rico Garcia and Dietrich Enns and Keegan Aiken and Cade Stroud. As much as I love him, so yeah, I would like to see them get an established reliever because the bullpen does scare me a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think all three of us agree on that. I think we agree that the bullpen need to get better before opening day, and I think it will. Whether it's through free agency or whether it's through a Kobe Mayo trade, I can't imagine we sit on our hands and rely on who we have for the bullpen. We've signed a meaningful reliever pretty much every year since we've been competitive. We signed Kittredge, last year, and then even like Craig Kimbrell for whatever that's worth. He was a signing. We already signed Helmsley too, but I think we do sign someone more, and I think it's like it was so clear at the end of last year that the bullpen kind of needed a revamp from what it was to finish the season, and I don't think anyone disagreed with that. Just when we were throwing out Corbin Martin in the eighth inning of game after the trade deadline, that we can't go into 2026 with relying on the guys that we relied on the last 2 months of last year, like Dietrich and like Rico Garcia, like Kate Stroud. Guys who I think did some good things, but also definitely worked and struggled and definitely aren't guys for a team that, the goal is to win a World Series. You're not going to see Rico Garcia, pitching in the 10th inning of a World Series game that you'd feel comfortable with. But who knows? The Dodgers had a shitty bullpen and they won the World Series, so.
And relievers do come out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will say. And maybe you can piece it together like maybe Tyler Wells goes back to being a full-time reliever and that's another really good arm for you. And I didn't even hate Albert Suarez as like he did a good job out of the pen for us too. Now he probably would be more of a long relief option, like not a leverage guy, but you know, I want to look at is there a way I want to look at what the projected bullpen is for us right now.
I mean, the projected bullpen I have on my little phone that I've been keeping up with, I have Ryan Heldley at the closer.
Not your big phone, your little phone?
I have Ryan Heldley at the closer, and then you got them lefty and Keegan Aiken, Dietrich, and then I have Cade Povich in the bullpen right now. I think he could be a lefty option, potentially. He's not going to be a starter, I doubt. And then the righty
That
for
would
leverage
Cade
righty, I
Povich
have
in the bullpen. Cade Povich in the bullpen would make me really upset. Like that's
You think so?
yeah.
I mean, you don't think he
Yeah.
could do what even Jorge Lopez did and just kind of just find something for even half a season as a reliever?
I don't really see it.
We're looking at Helsley, Kittredge, Aiken,
Yeah.
Stroud, Selby, and Garcia.
I think
And you
Tyler
got
Wells at the bullpen arm too.
Wells, and then you're looking at like Cano, Yaramil Geraldo,
I forgot about
Maybe
Geraldo.
Albert Suarez.
Yeah, I don't
maybe
hate
Albert
Flores.
Suarez, Tyson Neighbors. We do have a couple of nice bullpen options that we got from at the deadline last year. Tyson Neighbors was in the O'Hearn and Laureano trade. He's got really good stuff. I mean, and I think he did finish the year in AAA, so he might be someone we see next year. But yeah, that scares me the more I look at it. Colin Selby is I mean, right now I'm looking at Fangraphs projections, and they got Colin Selby throwing 58 innings next year at a 3.82 ERA. Actually, I would be happy if we got that out of Colin Selby. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would be kind of nice.
I mean, I don't
But
hate Selby. I think he could be decent.
I don't either. I feel like we have a lot of guys I don't hate though, and not enough guys that I feel like we have like 5 guys in our bullpen that I'm like, okay, I could see it, but we need more like genuinely established bullpen arms.
I agree
At
with
least
that.
one more. Gotta go get one more. I keep waiting to see us do it because we are making moves and they just haven't done it, or at least not in a little bit now, since the Hosley signing.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, Cade Povich had pitched twice in his career out of the bullpen, or twice last year, I should say, out of the bullpen, and to a 3.12 ERA and 8 and 2/3 inning pitched.
Make him the
Yay.
closer. There you go.
That's not what
New closer.
I mean, worked for Dak Britton.
That's true. It did. What else? What else do we want to touch on before
Any 2026 resolution? Do you want to do that?
I already said my Mayo thing, but yeah, I'll just say it again. I don't think they can keep Mayo. I don't buy the whole maybe he switches to a corner outfield spot. I don't see it.
We
Man.
have Taylor Ward anyway to
Right, and it's just like you cannot throw him back in AAA, but you also can't keep him on the roster. Like you gotta find something of value for Kobe Mayo. And if it's not going to be, I mean, maybe it's a starter, but I kind of think it might be a reliever. God, I don't know what reliever would be worth Kobe Mayo. Maybe you can get a couple, but maybe a couple relievers from somewhere. I don't know. The Padres are the one that I think would make the most sense. Getting Morahone or Jeremiah Estrada. I think either of those would be really good, but I really think that they got to move Mayo. That's my first one, at least.
Mike, any 2026 Orioles New Year's resolution?
Kind of in that same realm. You kind of have to choose between Kobe Mayo and Ryan Mountcastle. There's absolutely no world where all of them could be on this major league roster in
Send them
2026.
both out.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I wouldn't hate that, but bare minimum, you have to choose one of them to hang around, whether that's in AAA or just on the bench getting a start every 10th day at DH or something. I think you have to choose between one of them. Also, sign 2 relievers. Sign 1 lefty reliever, sign 1 righty reliever. Take your pick of the guys I mentioned. Could be Tyler Kinley, could be Justin Wilson, could be Taylor Rogers, could be Sir Anthony Dominguez, Pierce Johnson, Danny Coulombe. You gotta sign 2 relievers, in my opinion. And I think Tatsuya Imai would be, I mean, like I said, hasn't received a single major league offer, so I think you can really swoop in there and get that done. That's kind of all I have on my mind, because I think we're all set offensively, aside from the Mountcastle Mayo thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think more my mind sort of went somewhere where, like, outside of a move that we should make or something like that, I think what I really want to see from this team in 2026, I want to see Jackson Holiday play like what he's capable of. That sort of, I mean, we talked about a lot sort of near the end of the regular season, but I think it's worth noting that, like, Jackson Holiday, while he's had some good stretches, he had struggled overall in a lot of areas. I think probably, I mean, the only red on his baseball savant page, he had 3 red things overall: 85th percentile in chase percentage, 56th percentile in squared up percentage, and 82nd percentile in sprint speed. But the sprint speed doesn't matter because his base running run value is in the 8th percentile, and I don't have it pulled up, but his like caught stealing percentage last year was absurd. Like, he was terrible when he tried to steal bases. Defense has not been good. In the 5th percentile for range, 26th percentile for arm strength. Not that that matters because he played second base. But yeah, his batting run value at 17th percentile, base running run value 8th percentile, and fielding run value 13th percentile. And for the guy that we wanted Jackson Holiday to be, and what we, I mean, let make no bones about it, we need him to be better than that, obviously. I don't think he's going to come out next year and, be Gunnar Henderson by any stretch of the imagination, but we need him to be something. We need him to take some sort of step where he's not a liability. He's not a liability in the field, and he's not a liability on the bases, and he doesn't have a 689 OPS. And obviously, he had some really bad stretches last year. I think the end of the year, he just fell off a cliff. And a lot of that, the Orioles weren't really competing anyway, so it kind of went under-ish the radar, because, like, we knew we weren't going to make the playoffs anyway, so Holiday struggling, which is kind of like, whatever, everyone's struggling. But I think if the Orioles want to get to the place they need to get next year, they need to be able to rely on him. And if they can't, like, if he continued to play to the level that he did, then it's like, are you okay with just kind of throwing him in at the bottom of the order and being like, he's not a great second baseman. He's just kind of a player that's sort of at the bottom of the rotation and may give you some big hits every once in a while? Or do you think about, trying to trying to improve from within somewhere else at second base, however that may be. So I think that's the big thing. I need to see a step forward for Jackson Holiday. I need to see something from him. And again, at a 10 with the chase percentage, he doesn't chase a lot of pitches. He squares up balls, and, like, even though his percentile rankings aren't great, they're tough to be that you're okay with. 53rd percentile in walk percentage, 48th in strikeout, 40th in barrel, 40th in hard hit percentage. Like, I think he's still super young. He's developing. I don't think Jack Holiday is done for by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I think he still has a very bright future, but I want to see him tap into that bright future. And I think if Holiday can start playing like what we want him to be, like what we thought he could be when he was the number 1 overall prospect, when he was tearing up the minors, if he starts taking stride toward that, I think this lineup goes from being one where you feel good about it to where you feel great about it. You feel like the lineup can be just so dangerous in that there are so many different ways um, that we can beat you. We can beat you with, Holiday getting doubled left field, right field, hitting home runs from the left side, Gunnar Henderson doing the same. We can beat you with Pete Alonso and Taylor Ward hitting home runs into Mr. Flash territory. We can beat you with Colton Counter and Westberg as well. Adley Rutschman, Batayo. Like, there's so many different ways we can beat you, and I think Jack Holiday is sort of the fear of that. So yeah. Anything else?
That's a good one. I think with Holiday, he was a guy that, like, when he got called up, I totally thought he was going to be someone who was, like, just good at everything, right? Like, good athlete, good base runner, be a good defender, would hit, can hit for power and average. And it was disappointing last year because it kind of felt like the opposite. Like, at best, he was, like, average at everything. And, like, he has all the tools, but then, like, he just was such a boneheaded base runner, and the defense was really bad. So I agree. He's got to be better. I think he totally has it in him. And I think next year with Alonso and with Ward, he's going to have a lot more protection in that lineup. I think this lineup's going to be a lot better. I think you're going to see guys, if we can stay healthy, get back to, like, I think Gunner's going to get back to doing what he's doing. Same thing with Adley and Jordan Westberg. I think this lineup could be ridiculous next year. On a similar note, I want to see Colton Cowser become an everyday center fielder. I'm a little worried about our center field spot. Our group chat keeps bringing up Leody Taveras as like, oh, well, if Colin Cowser struggles, we got Leody Taveras. I have zero faith in Leody Taveras. I just want to put that out there now. I don't even know if he's going to make the team, dog. Like, we gave him $2 million. I don't see it. Like, you could go look at Leody Taveras. It's been bad.
Did you have faith in Ramon Laureano last year?
I didn't at all. But at least Laureano, like, he had a solid year with the Braves. He had like a 750 OPS and was like hitting lefties really well. Tavares, like, I'm not seeing it. He's an okay base stealer. He's not that great defensively at all. He's a switch hitter that doesn't hit well from either side of the plate. Like, I don't even know if he's a major league like level player. And people are talking about him. Well, you know, if Cowser struggles, we got Leody Taveras. I don't see it at all. So I need to see Colton Cowser not strike out 35% of the time like he did last year. You know, I think he's capable in center field defensively. I think he's a great center fielder. He has graded out much better in the corner outfield spots than in center, but I think he's good enough to play center every day. But he needs to get better offensively. He is a really hard guy to watch hit right now, or at least last year he was. He struck out 30, like not even joking, 35% of the time. And he hit like below 200, I believe. Let me double check on that. But Cowser is just a guy that has some serious flaws as a hitter that I think need to be figured out. And he needs to be able to prove that he can play center field every day. Because if he doesn't, we don't have someone yet. Like, we don't have Enrique Bradfield yet, who I think can be that everyday guy, but like, he's not ready to be on the major league roster yet. So Colin Cowser's got to be better, and I think that's going to be a really big part of the Orioles' success next year. I think.
Justin, you just led me right into what I want to say. I want to see Enrique Bradfield kick the door down in AAA and make his major debut this year. Like, granted, 15 games in AAA last year, and the numbers weren't great. But overall, for the whole season, he had 36 steals in 76 games, which is his calling card. That's what he does. He had 17 steals in 20 games in the Arizona Fall League. He had a pretty good stint down there. He's a top 5 prospect in the Orioles system. He has an 80 grade running, 70 grade fielding. That's somebody who can, there's a lot of questions about his hitting for good reason, but he's somebody who can play center field defensively very well right now. So I think if you polish up the hitting a little bit, I want to see him kick the door down in Norfolk, just have an awesome year, and he works his way into the conversation as a September call-up. He doesn't have to debut this year, but I think if he's in the conversation in September, I wouldn't hate that at all.
I think he should get, like, he was in Vanderbilt, I think he was like 22 when we drafted him, so he's got to be 25 now, maybe? You can fact check me on that.
We drafted him in 23, and he just turned 24.
Okay, he just turned 24. But, I mean, that's pretty
old
for a prospect. Yeah, so I would love to see him find a way into the everyday. Like, dude, I think he's the perfect 9-hole hitter. Put him in center field, let him play elite defense and steal you 30 bags. Like, I would love that. And once again, I like Cowser's defense. Cowser's defense has gone down in center field compared to the corner spots by a lot.
Yeah, but and honestly, even if Bradfield's hitting is like nowhere near what it needs to be in 26, if the Orioles are a playoff team, I'd almost want to see Bradfield on the roster as like your pinch runner in like the 8th or 9th inning if you need a run. Like that's what I would like to see.
He almost seems like the kind of guy who could produce for us, similar to what was that guy's name for the Dodgers, the center fielder that only played late in the game.
Dean, right?
Yeah, Justin Dean, I believe his name was.
Or he could just be like the next Terrence Gore.
Yeah, like, seriously.
He went like 5 different World Series rings because everyone needs like a pinch runner in October.
Yeah,
I'd prefer Enrique Bradfield to win 5 World Series rings with the same team, but
true. But
after we trade him to the Brewers for Freddie Peralta. But yeah, no, but no, I mean, yeah. sort of going back, I know y'all sort of moved on, but Justin, I kind of wanted to ask you this about the counterpoint. I think you mentioned this in the group chat, but do you have any faith that like Dylan Beaver could play center field if things?
No. Okay. I was hoping Brian would be on here for this because I totally will say this to him. I love Dylan Beavers. Why are we acting like Dylan Beavers was good defensively in the outfield for us last year? This dude, he missed multiple routine balls, like over and over again. I'm looking up. Mike, are you looking up his numbers defensively?
The Savant is not good.
Okay, thank you. Where did this come from that he can play center field? No, he can't. No, he can't. Like, good teams need good defensive center fielders. Look at what the Blue Jays had with Dalton Varsho last year. Like, that's what you want in center field. Like, you want those guys that get to everything. Like, Dylan Beavers was not good in left field last year. And I think he's capable of being a good defensive outfielder, or at least a league average one. This whole notion that he could play center field, no, he can't. When did
he had
do this?
3 errors in 22 games in left field?
Yeah, and they were like bad. Like I'm talking like DJ Stewart level bad. Okay, like maybe not getting hit in the face, but okay, maybe he can never get that bad. But like he was not good. Like he was messing up routine plays. Like these were not possible errors. No, he was really bad defensively. Did he play center field in the minors either? He didn't, right?
I remember when we drafted him, there was like some thought that he could play center field. Like he played like Cal and center a little bit, yeah.
They probably said the same shit about Heston Kjerstad too. Like they probably said he was playing center field at times. It doesn't mean that they actually can. It's just that they're outfielders.
Once in a while, I get reminded that Heston Kjerstad exists, and I'm like, God damn.
And then, yeah, it makes me want to rip my face off. But
how do you think Heston field?
I don't know.
He played in 9 games in center field in Norfolk in 2024.
Yeah,
Beavers or
Beavers?
Beavers.
Okay.
Like I wanted to say something when I think it was Brian was like, yeah, well, we can always just throw Beavers. No, you can't. Like you really can't. Like I thought I was going crazy, but I didn't want to say anything and like get everyone like on me for this because I love Dylan Beavers. I think he's an awesome player. I'm really excited to see how he plays. He was horrible defensively. Like, and I was like, what is this dude doing? Like he looked like an injured gazelle out there at times. Like I didn't understand what was happening in the outfield. And then we're gonna throw him in center field? Oh, no.
This is like the episode that like randomly a lot of people latch onto and like this rant gets to Dylan Beavers somehow.
I love Dylan Beavers, but he cannot play center field. He can't. At least not now. So no. Just
he played 108 innings at first base in 2024. I just put him there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Platoon it along though.
I think he can play second base too. Yeah, he can probably catch a little. He did
like Dylan Beaver posts like that clip on his Instagram story. It's like motivation. Like he looks like an injured
just
out
me
there.
Shitting on his defense. I love Dylan Beavers. He can't play center field for us. Sorry. It can't happen. I don't know what to tell you. He was not good there. He was not good in left field. He was not good. 3 errors in 22 games for an outfielder. That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I think if
Leody Taveras.
Yeah, it is Leody Taveras. Let's look at the baseball savant for Leody Taveras, dude.
I mean, what we do need to remember though is like Ramon Laureano and Dylan Carlson.
Dylan Beavers had a -2 fielding run value in left field last year.
Thank you.
But like, I feel like I think we're due for another like depth outfield signing.
I don't even think I'm not convinced Taveras is making the roster.
No, like at all. No, I mean, I don't think
Beavers' defensive value was also -1.5 per Fangraphs.
I mean, I think Leody Taveras is close to like what Dylan Carlson is. It's like,
but he doesn't have options, which I don't get. That was the whole draw with Carlson, that they could use him as that like taxi squad level guy that they could just send up and down from the minors.
And he started the team like 0 for 30 something. But yeah. But now, I mean, I'm in love with Leody Taveras personally. Like
Apparently everyone is, dude, because this is
I
our
think he's
center
the next.
fielder of the
I'm not.
future here.
I'm
He's the
not.
next Adam Jones. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm kidding. I'm not. I don't really have.
Today's episode is Justin having major problems with everyone who could potentially play center field in 2026 for the Orioles.
Like I said it the other day. Do you guys remember in the group chat?
When's Tyler O'Neill going back to center field?
Seriously, Tyler O'Neill. Okay, but like I
Kobe
said it in
Mayo.
the group chat. Everyone was like, because there was that Brenton
Sign
Doyle
Trey
rumor.
Mancini just to play center.
Remember, someone sent in the Brenton Doyle rumor, right? That like that. So
I think that
don't
was
know if
Brian.
that's true. Yeah, it was Brian, and I said I would like it, and then everyone else was like, "We have Colin Cowser and Leody Taveras, and then Dylan Beavers can play center." No, that out of that group, you
That
have
sounds like
one
Cam.
major league level or major league caliber center fielder, and that's Colin Cowser. And even Cowser, he has not been that good in center field in his career. He's not. He's been like league average defensively. He's been great in left field, but not center. And he struck out 35% of the time last year. Colin Cowser was horrible. And I just want to read off real quick Leody Taveras' numbers, okay? He slashed 205, 226, 304 for a 530 OPS. And he had -1 outs above average. This guy's horrible. What are we doing? He had -2 outs above average in center field last year. What's Stevie Wilkerson up to? Good question. Throw him out there. He's got more. I don't like. I'm sorry. I'm glad. I'm so glad this came up because I wanted to talk about
the
this.
Orioles acquire Ketel Marte to play center field?
I think Brian suggested that too. Which actually, honestly, let's do it. I'd love that. No, I'm kidding.
Well, there is a log jam at catcher. Do we think we could maybe move Samuel Batallo out there?
Yeah, I think he's got the range to do it.
Justin, I found the group chat messages.
Okay, let's hear it.
So it was Brian who sent it along. He was like, "Is this legitimate? Like, is this rumor legitimate?" And we were all like, "Maybe not."
Mm-hmm.
You, Justin, were like, "I love Doyle," and Cam was like, "He doesn't do much for me." Cam also said, "I think our strategy of scoring a lot of runs and giving up a lot of runs indicates the need for the player." And then Brian, 5 hours later, said, "The O's also don't need a center fielder. Cowser, Beavers, and Taveras all play center field." And Cam
No,
goes,
they
"Brian,
don't.
Taveras is the late inning defensive guy."
Yeah, no, he's not. He's a late inning defensive guy if you want to blow the game, dude. I don't understand where this came up in our group chat.
Well,
These guys,
You also said, "I think they're fine in center, but having a bad defense isn't ideal. I would understand getting a true center fielder, but I don't think it's necessary."
Judging
yeah,
that?
Do you think it's
I
necessary
stand by
now?
that. No, because I still think I would be okay with Cowser, but I do think if Cowser gets hurt, like, what are you doing? I don't know what.
And then,
That's
Brian said the next day, Mayo in the outfield.
Yeah, I mean, so no, that's as much as I'm crashing out right now over this. I am fine with Cowser in center, but like I would totally not be shocked if we got a notification sometime in the next month and we found out that they got another guy who could play center field. Like that would not shock me at all. And I honestly think they
The
probably
Orioles
should.
have re-signed Ramon Laureano.
I would love that. Are you
He's still
kidding
in San
me?
Diego, though, right? Like I feel like he has
he
another
is.
year.
He is in San Diego.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that.
No,
Oriole
I
free
love
time Dylan
Ramon.
Carlson.
That I would hate. That would send me over a bridge.
There are some big ones out in Baltimore, I've heard. So, well, there's one less than there was a couple of years ago.
Okay, see, that's not. I saw it leading to that joke, and that just was never a good idea at all.
Sorry, I didn't know.
The Orioles are going to trade for Ryan O'Hearn from the Pirates to be their new center fielder.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's some good
Actually,
logic
what's
right there.
O'Neill Cruz up to? Like, what do you think his market value is?
Striking out.
He's a worse center fielder than Leody Taveras is. I'm sorry.
He is.
I mean, the only thing I remember from him in center field is that one play where he like missed a fly ball and he just like walked back to it.
O'Neill Cruz
was the center fielder when Jaron Duran hit an inside the Parker in Boston. He just kind of jogged to the baseball.
Yeah,
Shocker.
I think that's what I was referring to. But yeah, no, I mean it. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I think
D. Gordon, center field extraordinaire.
D.
Come on down.
Strange Gordon.
Sorry, that's very
Wait,
strange.
wait, is Keon Brockton still a free agent?
Probably.
It's becoming. That's what's. This is unraveling really quick. Really
Well, the one
quickly
thing
here.
I did want to say, the second thing I sort of wanted to say about what I want to see from the Orioles in 2026, I want to see a full season out of Jordan Westburg. I mean, I was looking through his gameplay. He played 68 in 2023. Part of that was he had a late call up. So, like, that was a full season for him between the minor to major. But then 107 games in 2024, and then 85 last year. Like, he's really freaking good when he's healthy. 2.4 WAR in 2024, and an all-star. And obviously, like, I'm not saying stuff we don't already know. 126 OPS plus in 24, 114 last year. 100 in 2023 in his rookie year, but a good defensive third baseman. He can hit the ball. He's just a good, especially for a team like this. Like I feel like middle of the order, fifth, sixth, something like that. If he can stay healthy, and also it is sort of like we don't really think of infield as a need because we have spot filled everywhere. Like obviously Alonso at first, Henderson at short, Holiday and Westberg. So that's not really a need, but like what does the infield look like if Westberg goes down again and if Holiday continues to struggle? I think Jeremiah Jackson sort of the next level there. I don't really think we have much of a plan behind that. Like, do we have like minor league prospect or infielder like kind of waiting in the wing? Like, well, I bet we signed some depth guys before opening day. In the infield, maybe a Ramon Urias type, even Jorge Mateo being gone, so you have less depth there with that as well. Like I don't know if Luis Vazquez is still in the organization or not, but I don't think he really done much for me. But I want to see a full healthy team, like 130 games at the minimum for Jordan Westberg. Like that's something I want to see him stay healthy. For his sake, for everyone's sake, for the team's sake. I think like a full team now of Jordan Westberg would do the Orioles a lot of good next year. And I don't want to see Jeremiah Jackson getting every day at bat like he did the last 2 months last year. Like I like Jeremiah Jackson. I think he's a fine player. But I think if we're in a spot where in May, June he's playing every day, like there might be some problems. We should be setting ourselves up in a situation where we don't have to rely on Jeremiah Jackson and Luis Vazquez and Dylan Carlson, like those types of players, to be playing every day. And with a few injuries, like I feel like we could. But yeah, I mean that's sort of the infield side of it too. It's like I feel like we don't talk about the infield a lot, but Holiday take a step up, Westberg stay healthy, and I think the infield are in a really good shape. We have, superstars at first base and shortstop, Pete Alonso and Gunnar Henderson. Maybe you don't want to say Pete Alonso is a superstar, but he's close. Gunner's a superstar. So yeah.
I would say Pete Alonso is a superstar. Albert.
People get weird about the superstar terminology. Like some people are like, "Oh, there are only 5 superstars in the sport." It
No, I mean,
depends. I think he's a star, certainly.
yeah.
Depends on what you define.
I mean, he's not like obviously we don't have anyone on the team who's like same level as like the upper echelon of the sport, which would be Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge and maybe Cal Raleigh.
I don't even. I want to. I mean, I love Cal Raleigh, but I don't even know if I would put him in.
I think he needs another really good year to be up there. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, like very obviously the two best players in the sport right now.
I do want to say about Westy. I totally agree with you. It pissed me off so much when I saw people talking about the Orioles trading for Edward Cabrera, and they were like, "Yeah, and like the Orioles have some really nice young hitters they could trade, like Kobe Mayo or Jordan Westberg." And I'm like, Jordan Westberg is not getting. Jordan Westberg made an All-Star team in his first full season. Like, I don't think people realize how good he is. He's had injury issues for sure, but like when he's on the field, this is a guy that could easily have like a 5 WAR season. Like he's really solid defensively, great base runner, and offensively he can really hit however you want. He can hit for average, he can hit with runners in scoring position, he hits for power. I mean, I think last year he had like 17 or 18 home runs, and like Cam said, he played less than 100 games. Like that's almost a 30 home run. It's like a 28 home run pace or something. Oh no, That's like a 30 home run pace. But yeah, so
I mean, doing quick math, 17 home runs in 85 games would be 34 and like 170.
yeah.
So that'd be like over 14. That'd be like 30 plus. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jordan Westburg is an awesome player, and I genuinely think when he's fully healthy, the last few years he was probably our second best player we had on our team behind Gunnar, at least position player wise. I think he outplayed Adley for sure. I mean, who else would maybe? Am I forgetting someone that position player wise would have been above Jordan Westburg other than Gunnar?
Not really. I mean, Kepler was hurt.
Cowser was really bad last year. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but
O'Neill was not good. Holiday, as we've mentioned, had been very good. Mount
Yeah.
Castle didn't have a very good year. Mayo neither until like the end. Yeah. No, I mean you're right. I mean,
yeah, we need Westy healthy. He's awesome, and you can tell our team just is so different with him at the top of the lineup too.
I mean, I would take Laureano actually, but yeah.
Well, but I'm saying the last couple years.
Okay, yeah, fair.
We only had Laureano for
half a season,
100
but
games or whatever. Are you talking right now?
You're muted.
I'm an idiot. So while we were talking,
No, you're not going to hear me disagree.
I think Michael was going down a list of all the center fielders that don't have a team currently. Like Will Robertson? Come on.
Who is Will Robertson?
He was DFA'd to make room for Eflin on the 40-man.
I've never heard his name in my entire life.
What?
And I watch like 140 Orioles games a year. I've never heard of this guy.
I mean,
he was a waiver claim like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
He was not on the team the past year at all.
Well, no, I meant like I wasn't sure if he was, I don't know, some
Alec Canario? Nario? I mean, I feel like maybe I've heard that name at some point. Manuel Margot, Deshaun.
Austin Hayes and Alex Verdugo are also still.
Yeah, I saw Hayes might be a Met. Apparently, there was some rumblings about that. You know what I will say? I'm gonna have to look up his numbers, but Manuel Margot, he's decent, right? I would
not really.
No, he was at some point.
He kind of in the same camp in my mind as like Laureano, O'Neill, and Carlton. Like,
okay, yeah, no, he was not.
Laureano is better than me.
Well, like just kind of guys that are like, they've had some good years, they've had some bad years in their careers, and they're like, eh.
And Margot cannot play center field. He was in the 8th percentile sprint speed last year. What? That can't be right. Was he like, he's not that fast. Okay, yeah, so no. Margot, I take everything back. He's horrible. I thought he was decent. I feel like I just remember him being decent for a little bit with like...
It was because he was with the Rays.
Yeah, maybe he just killed the Orioles a few too many times or something. I talked about Bader a while ago. I definitely don't think Bader's an option anymore because I think whenever he signs, he's probably going to get like a 2 or 3 year deal.
He's also historically bad. Historically speaking, he's bad when you sign him as a free agent, but when you trade for him at the deadline, he's really good. So.
But the defense doesn't waver. That's the thing. The defense...
The blonde lock with blue eyes also don't waver.
They don't. That's right. What a smoke show. Yeah. Harrison, I don't know. I don't know who's an option in center field.
So Justin, what I'm taking away of like the only center fielder of all the center fielders you've said nice things about today is Harrison Bader.
I wanted us to sign Harrison Bader before the season. I did. But then
Harrison Bader is the only person that Justin wants to see in center field for the Orioles.
No, but like, okay, are you guys
and Brenton Doyle?
Yes, I would like Brenton Doyle. Sorry, sue me. He's awesome though. Like, hold on. I know offensively last year he was not great. I don't think. Yeah, he was not great last year offensively. Dude, he's so good defensively though. And the year before that, he had 23 home runs, 30 steals, and a 763 OPS.
I mean, there is something to be said for something like that. Just like having a guy
14 outs above average. 14.
I mean, having a guy out there that can get to everything, like that's an underrated asset to have, especially when there are going to be some days where Taylor Ward and Tyler O'Neill are on each side of him.
And
Justin, would you like to see Taylor Ward in center?
No, dude. Maybe there's a hot take. But I don't care if my center fielder has a 690 OPS. If he's all-world, if he's a gold glover. Like, I don't care. Stick him in the 9 hole. Let him steal 30 bags. No. Because because Cedric Mullins was not good defensively. Well, he was to the eye, but like all the metrics said he was horrible. But you know what I mean, though? Like, especially because I think we all have expectations for this offense that are really high, and so like if Brenton Doyle, I don't think we're gonna trade for Brenton Doyle, but like if we did, and he hits in the 9 hole, and he's a Gold Glove defender, and he has a 700 OPS, I'm fine with that because I think we're gonna have Gunnar and Pete Alonso and Adley and Westberg and Jackson Holiday and Basayo and Ward. Like those guys are gonna rake, I think. So
93rd percentile fielding run value, 91st percentile range.
If we're getting a 690 OPS guy to play every day, though,
97th percentile.
Put him in the 99th percentile.
Cam, do you know what the OPS was for Colton Cowser last year? Who's our center fielder every day going into next year?
That's a fair point.
And you're under 200, man. He hit 196.
But also,
and can't hit an off-speed
Colton
pitch
Cowser,
for his life, dude.
Colton Cowser,
they would throw him 3 changeups and he wouldn't hit it.
Significantly higher than
would not make contact. Dude, Colton Cowser was so bad, and I like Colton Cowser, but I don't like that we're forced to have him be our everyday center fielder. Which is
now pull up the numbers for late inning defensive replacement Leody Taveras.
Yeah.
My favorite late inning defensive replacement and center fielder, Greg Allen.
Dude.
Jordan Adams.
No, but genuinely, like
Oriole legends.
Wait, is Jordan Adams still a free agent?
Wait, probably. That changes everything. Hold on. You just seemed like you had an epiphany right there. Oh my gosh, Jordan Adams is a free agent. Like what?
I just like Jordan Adams because he was a UNT football.
He is a free agent.
Sign him. Everyday center fielder next year. Jordan Adams.
Greg Allen is also a free agent.
Greg Allen dead to me. Wait, Jacob Stalling. Where's he?
Jacob Stalling.
Yeah, roll over to the shortstop.
Roll over to short is still a free agent. Shockingly. He has not landed a deal yet. I know. That might be.
I do love that.
Be a surprising turn of events, but it's true.
God, we are just shitting on some of our guys in a public.
I know we are, and I'm just okay. But you guys get what I mean, though, right? It is just me, but you get what I mean, though, right? Like about the potential issues with Cowser, right? Like, am I the only one concerned with?
No.
That?
I mean,
okay.
I mean, I'm not. I don't disagree with you. But I also think Calder, I don't know. I feel confident enough that he can bounce back. In that, he, last year, a lot of it was injuries, and also a lot of it just, Cedric Mullins was there every day, and, you can't really, and then Mullins was hurt for a little bit, and, then he was traded, and then Calder got hurt, and then Ramon Laureano was also there. I think going into the season where Calder, where...
Oh, you still can't see my face? I didn't realize that. That's funny. All right, sorry. Continue.
This entire time I haven't been able
That's
to.
crazy.
I mean, his face looked the same as it always does, if that helped.
Thanks. I appreciate
that. He just in a different room and normal.
I take that as a compliment.
How's the room look, Cam?
It looks solid. There's one of those feelings where there's a
I think
light.
He was talking about your room, not my room.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I just kind of left for.
Let's talk about that after the podcast. We're off topic. You were cooking for a second, and then now we're just completely lost, and I have no clue what you're even saying.
Wait, what was I talking about?
You're talking about Cowser.
Colton Cowser.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Colton Cowser. He's going to come into the season. He knows he's the everyday center fielder. You don't have to worry about Ramon Laureano. You don't have to worry about Cedric Mullins. Don't have to worry about Beavers or O'Neill because they don't play center field. Taylor Ward doesn't play center field. So I think, just sort of having that fresh start, that confidence in him, I think it'll help. I think, and also just being able to get everyday reps in center field. I think defensively, I feel fine with him in center field. Offensively, I have enough faith in what Colton Cowser is. He has enough power in the bat. I think last year he was really bad, but he has enough power in the bat. He has good plate discipline. I think I don't think the wheels are going to fall off for Cowser like they did last year. If they do, then there might be some issues. I don't know if you prematurely call up Enrique Bradfield to patch those issues. I don't know if you sign some random Deshaun Kiner Jr. to sort of patch their issue, but I got that guy's name wrong badly. But whatever. He played for like the White Sox last year or something, who cared? But
Twins, actually.
AL Central? God, Twins were the team that like ended our season last year. But in May.
Cole Irvin says hello.
God, I forgot about Cole Irvin. Do you think he's a lefty option for the bullpen this season?
No.
He could
No.
be. He's a free agent.
I think we've gotten everything out of this episode that we can.
I think so too.
We have saturated everything we can out of the late December tit that is
Of course, we would find a way to make this an hour and 51 minutes.
We are very good at making episode out of nothing. Like I challenge us to like middle of January when nothing new happened. We can make a 2-hour episode just reiterating everything we've been saying the last 3 months anyway about how the starting rotation isn't good enough, the bullpen isn't good enough, but hey, we tied Pete Alonso and
traded for Andrew Kittredge again.
Justin still hates that we traded away Grayson Rodriguez.
Yep, pretty much. I like it more though.
If there were to be one Oriole player on the active roster to listen to this episode, who would you want it to be?
No, I wouldn't want it to be an outfielder. That's for sure.
Not Dylan Beavers, dude. I
think if Adley listened to this, there wouldn't really be any problems.
Or Pete Alonso, because we just keep
or
going
Pete
back
Alonso,
to, regardless of anything that happened.
Maybe Jordan Westburg.
So. Yeah, Westy. Shout out Westy, man.
It'd be funny if the Orioles like their player group chat like that should like they've been like secretly.
Look at these fucking clowns, dude. That's
just lighting up Justin for this episode.
They've been listening to every episode anyway.
I'm giving them bulletin board.
They're like, none of you can
right
play
here.
center field. That's what he said.
I'm giving them bulletin board material. Okay, go prove me wrong, man.
Craig Albernath, the first day of spring training, comes into like the outfield room, like whatever it is, and he just showed like that clip.
He's like, none of you can play center field for this team.
Prove him wrong. Prove him wrong, Leote.
Yeah, prove all your haters
like,
wrong.
Bolton,
it's just
you
me
better hope
who like
good.
Has way too much emotional stake in this fucking team and like loves the Orioles. I'm just crashing out for no reason. But yeah, pretty much.
Prove him wrong, Leote Taveras.
Yeah. You know what? I hope Leote Taveras proves me wrong. I have zero faith in that dude, and that's where I'm gonna.
If he comes out with like 3.5 WAR and like the leadoff hitter,
can you imagine? Oh my god, dude!
Like leadoff hitter in the ALDS Game 3.
Justin, I think you would have to issue a public.
I would. He had a 520 OPS last year.
I liked your line about how he's a switch hitter that can't hit from either side.
I mean, sorry. He had a 220 OPS on base percentage. 220.
You would think every center field option for the Orioles this year is Kwame Brown and Justin is Stephen A. Smith right now.
Yeah. He's having an all-time rant. Oh.
He has no game whatsoever. He doesn't really know what he's doing out there.
And the funny thing is, I like 2 out of the 3 players. Like, I like Beavers and Cowser. I just, like, don't know if I want them playing center field every day. Beavers can't play center field. That seriously needs to be said and needs to be known because he can't. I don't know why we're acting like he can.
I'm going to need to send you some of my old clips from when I played JV baseball in center field and just see, like, what your thoughts on that is.
Okay. Hey, it might be better than Dylan Beavers.
It might be, dude.
It wasn't.
Okay. I'm excited to see that.
I don't think there actually are clips. I'm just kidding, but all right. Thank you all for listening to episode number 16 of Content DisOgreements. Until next time, stay disorganized.